Probably do something about the male homeless problem. Last stat I saw was around 85% of the homeless population was male. Work towards fixing the fact that most men have some form of depression. Probably ease all of the pressure our society puts on men. We don't talk about the emotional toll of social pressure on men nearly enough. Provide more opportunities to form communities and activities that cater to different men's needs. A lot of us don't have friends or intimate platonic relationships, and we're in desperate need of that. Not turn them away when they tell us what they're struggling with. Oh my dog, this blew up. Anyway, I'm so sorry to everyone who posted here sharing their cases of being turned down. I hope you all find someone who is gonna listen and help you. Blue heart, sparkling heart. Compliment them, even if it's something small. Wow, that's a nice shirt, it looks good on you. Your hair looks nice today. A girl complimented my nose 4 years ago. Weird, I know, but I still remember that compliment. We like hugs. And hashtag X200B. And hashtag X200B. Just hug less. I want a hug edit. Wow, that's a lot of hugs. Hugs everyone who saw this. Stop assuming anyone concerned about men's issues is a misogynist. A previous member of the Norwegian royal family committed suicide this Christmas, 50-year-old male. After this, the Prime Minister told the public that she wanted to investigate the mental health of the population, especially for girls. Sometimes I hate politics. We are failing our precious boys. Give us one compliment. Just one. A girl once said I had really pretty eyes. That shit was 7 years ago and I remember it perfectly because it's all I've gotten in 7 years. Actually listen to their problems and not yell at them and say you're a man. Don't be such a wimp. Treat us like humans. I was sexually assaulted as a child and frequently tried to harm myself, but whenever I talked to someone about it they scoffed and said I was telling fibs. And hashtag X200B. Edit, thank you for all the kind words. Please, if you're thinking of hurting yourself, please seek help, don't go it alone. Hugs, compliments and cuddles. Men does not get enough of these things. Not abandon your best friend of 10 years after he begged you for help. Fuck you, Sam. Funding for mental health and understanding as a society. Easier said than done, especially in certain cultures. Treat their mental health seriously. When they are struggling with a problem, the only advice that is given to them to man up. Which, in my opinion, they have, and they just need actual help. Don't shame us for asking for help or appearing weak. Allow men to express sorrow without shaming them and instead supply support. The real men don't cry. Idea kills. Stop telling them to man up or grow a pair because men suffer too. I can't count how many times I've tried to approach friends about what I'm going through and gotten cold fucking receptions. I've been ghosted by friends on more than one occasion for doing little more than having feelings. Men are meant to act like nothing ever bothers them at all, and so we end up bottling it up till it comes out in the worst ways. For me, it's often alcohol. Don't expect men to be manly. We have worries, we have fears just like anyone else. Sometimes we don't want sex, we just want someone to hold us and tell us everything is going to be okay. The modern world shouldn't expect someone to be anything other than a contributing member of society, be it any way. Men like power and feeling looked up to, but like women and children, we need someone to love us and someone we can fall back onto. When a man, or even a woman, is shutting people out and isolating themselves, they need your love the most. I know this will get buried, but I hope someone can take something from this. An uncle-in-law shot himself to death this week. The guy was screaming for help and threatening to do it for days. He was 48. What are the options? If I was dealing with heavy depression and just wanted to talk to someone, where do I go? I've sought independent counselors and they usually turn out to be nutcases themselves. Seems like this just adds to the overall feeling of hopelessness. People's reaction to men that commit suicide, greater than that's so tragic. If only he had gotten help. How could anyone think they're that alone? People's reaction to men on the verge of suicide. Greater than he's so creepy. He's such a downer. Stay away from him, he's such a freak. Can you imagine even living like that? Pathetic. What a loser. So cringe. It's pretty much this. Statistically speaking, men work more, work longer hours, work in more dangerous professions and consume more drugs, alcohol and other. In addition, men, on average, have fewer close friends and feel lonelier than women. I think the fatigue of such a life can be quite draining. I don't think the problem is that men do not talk about their feelings. I think the problem is that they often don't have someone to talk to. In addition, it can be quite hard to make new friends. Especially when you are past your 20s. You know, people you are potentially interested in are married and have kids. They are preoccupied with their own lives. I felt very lonely and sad after my last long-term relationship ended. It took me over 6 months to find new friends and I'm a hardcore extrovert. Still, I made a bunch of new friends within the past year or so. I'd like to encourage anyone who feels lonely to put yourself out there. Talk to people. If you like them, ask them if they like to hang out with you. Do you know how I became friends with one of my best friends? I straight up told him that I felt lonely and that I like him and would like to become friends with him. And for those of you who already have plenty of friends and a busy life, maybe make some room for people in your community who aren't as blessed as you are. Although we are encouraged to be open about how we feel or think, we can't. If something is a genuine problem and we verbalize it, the reaction is almost always others jumping down our throat as we have no right to complain, or mocking as we have supposedly been living privileged. It's become worse in recent years as we literally have to tiptoe around while being blamed for everything generations before us supposedly did. Most men alive today had no part in anything that was done to others. We were born into a different world where we have always been on the back foot, yet carry a lot of the blame and stigma from things we had nothing to do with. I'm expecting this post to get mass downvoted purely for openly saying what I personally live and experience. We don't talk about that shit because it gets hammered back at us, so we shut the fuck up and just keep going until we break. Then everyone is like, oh, you should have said something. No, we shouldn't, as it just creates more stress and makes things more difficult. And #X200B. You want to help, then create an environment for men equal to that of everyone else instead of dwelling on the doings of long dead people and putting men separate and last. The thing about equality is that everyone is equal regardless of gender, sexuality and age, etc. People want to know what can be done to help, but when they know it just gets buried again. It's easier to just not bring it up so we don't face all the BS and drama about how hard everyone else has it as if we live in golden castles. Too many people see the world through decades-old rose-tinted glasses. Things need to change. Stop teaching them to suppress and bottle up their emotions. If you know how to actually feel the things you're experiencing, then when shit gets hard you can deal with it easier. Otherwise you're left with a sense of discomfort, a nauseating, sickening twisting in your gut and a sense that something is wrong. You're not sure what, just that things aren't right and you need it to stop right now. You drink, you punch the wall, you hurt yourself. You try to cry but tears don't come because all you know about crying is, man up. Grow up. Boys don't cry. You try to tell people you're not okay, a shrug when they ask how things are going. Telling people who care about you, you're not feeling so great or are having a bad week. But the lackluster way, that is the only way, you feel comfortable talking about how you feel doesn't draw the help it needs, and why would it? Or should it? You're a man, you shouldn't ask for help, or even need it. You deal with these things alone because you're a rock, a pillar of support, the one who stays calm when things go wrong. So instead of unloading, or dealing with the issues, they get carried, bottled up, pushed down, hidden. You desensitize yourself to them however you can and remain stoic. But eventually even stone crumbles, and when it does it's too late. There's too much, it's overwhelming. You don't even know where to start, the only thing you know is you want it to stop, need it to stop. And admitting you need help now would only make it hurt more, but you're sure you can't stand another ounce of pain, so you take the only option available.